Hey guys, Bleach is back. So you obviously want to know my thoughts on the episode because my thoughts are so important. Like if it was not for my thoughts, the anime would have never come back. Never came back, right? So, what do I think of this episode? I like this episode. It's not a filler episode. It's definitely not a filler episode. It basically covers 4 chapters from the manga. I'm an anime only guy, but I checked the manga after watching the episode. So it basically covers 4 chapters from the manga, and it's a good episode. It basically the episode starts with these two random soul reapers, not no names. They have their name, but I was not interested enough to remember them. Okay, give me a break. So one of them is a excessively, I guess, brave one, I guess, and one is excessively coward one. Coward one is afraid, and these two are both replacements for the old Soul Reaper that we used to have. So these two are the replacements. They come to the Karakura town, and this because it's such a smart decision to split up when there are excessive hollows over there. They both split up, and the coward one is somewhere in the Karakura town, afraid and praying that he doesn't encounter a goddamn hollow. And obviously he encounters a goddamn hollow, and he just runs and tries to call. This is literally the first time I think we have ever seen a Soul Reaper other than Shinji. And mind you, Shinji was highly interested in the real world and was living in the real world for many years. This is, I think, the first Soul Reaper who has a phone, I think so. And he's trying to call that girl, and little does he know that when he goes to the top of the building and is trying to contact the girl, that he sees the girl is basically almost dead. A gruesome scene, highly impressed again. And after that, he basically tries to fight them, and he's stupid enough, and he basically, I guess, forgot that he was running from a hollow, and the hollow is basically behind him, and he basically gets stabbed by the hollow, and then he is just thinking about his cowardly life, I guess. So now the main part begins. One question: will these characters, especially the coward one, will have a story throughout this arc? I might be interesting. I will be interested in that. The coward one, not the brave one. She was not that fun. The coward one seems to have more of a character, I guess. I don't know. So the main party of this, first of all, we got to see Orihime. No, technically we got to see Ichigo Shikai Getsuga Tensho, and then we got to see Orihime doing a new move, I guess, in which she blocks the enemy's attack and then attacks them and deals with a hollow or two, I think. But I have a problem. Chad, yes, Chad thinks he's too much of a Chad in this new series now, since it returned to the main screen, I guess. So he decides to punch many hollows at a single time at once and destroy a lot of property. Mr. Chad, do you think you could have done anything better? You're like, punch him here, and don't throw them away to that property. People might be living over there, or it's just property damage. And I'm almost 100% sure that you are capable of not doing that. Try to think about this for the next time. Okay, though I don't think you're going to be very important in this arc also, which is, I don't know, maybe good, maybe not. Okay, whatever. Then Uryu is basically ice skating. He's basically reishi skating on the floor and shoots arrows and here and there, almost shoots Ichigo, and Ichigo's like, whoa, and cool scene of him skating here and there. And then Ichigo basically goes for an overkill. Yeah, he basically goes for an overkill. That Hollow tries to attack that coward Soul Reaper. A coward Soul Reaper, and Ichigo blocks it. Cool scene. And then he's like, I will end this in one shot, and goes for Bankai. I think this was very fan servicey. I don't remember. Like, I didn't read the manga with like a lot of interest, and there's a reason for that. I will mention that later in the video. But he basically goes into Bankai. I think you can even one shot that hollow without even your Shikai Ichigo. Like, just slice it like a normal Soul Reaper. You fought Aizen, you fought Ginjo, you fought so many people. I mean, one slice, I'm quite sure can do it. So Chad and Ichigo need to work on their fighting skills. I think they forgot how to fight from the past because of the past 10 years, I think. Though it happened, whatever, okay. So after that, we get to see like those two are taken, those two coward and brave Soul Reapers are in the house of Ichigo, and a funny scene happens where the coward one is kind of afraid, surprised, shocked, afraid, I think, of seeing Ichigo and trying to collect his thoughts, and suddenly he sees his and Ichigo, because all of these people, Ichigo, Uryu, Orihime, Chad, have done this so many times, and by the way, where the hell is gone? They tell you eat this bread, and you can't eat that. Behind you is your Giga, and lying down there is basically a dead body in a way, and he gets shocked. Funny scene, I guess, somewhat. Another funny scene later happens where that new Quincy, which has somewhat of a Arankar Quincy, I guess, I don't know, comes to Ichigo's house, very rude the way he came in though, and is standing on his bed like with shoes on. Shoes on? Who the hell stands on a bed with shoes on? Seriously, it's unhygienic, it's disgusting, don't do that. There's all dust on the shoes and mud and dirt. Why? And you put your face on your bed and okay, eat sometimes. Why? Ichigo warns him, and he doesn't listen, and Ichigo basically kicks him. First of all, I had only 3 hours of sleep last night, and I have somewhat of an injury on the leg area and lower back, so I could do a little bit better, but I won't. And injury, okay. So Ichigo basically kicks him the hell out of his house and goes to talk to him, I guess. And during that Soul Society time, we get to see that. Oh my god, okay. Soul Society time, we get to see Yamamoto just standing, I think he was standing, right? And basically one of the Soul Reapers comes in, and he's basically like, before this scene, okay, I will mention that later. He comes in and he's like, Captain Yamamoto, and so basically, and Quincy's, a group of Quincy's come into his quarters, I guess, and they're kind of not impressed by the quarters. They thought there would be like, it would be somewhat a special, unique quarter, and would be more protected, security. And Yamamoto raises an excellent point. I am Genru Sai Yamamoto. I am all the security you need, bitch. And excellent point, sir. Excellent point. Then why the hell you couldn't stop them? There were so many of them, and they were running, and you saw them running away. Why the hell you couldn't even capture, damage, do something to one of them? Man, Yamamoto, I'm kind of disappointed in you. I know you lost an arm, but that's no excuse for underperforming that much. Okay, like you could have at least one of the Quincy's should have burned a little something. I thought you were overpowered, bro. Are you right? You are, no? Why then? Though I think Yamamoto already knows that these are Quincy's because of the dialogue that these Quincy's and Yamamoto shared. One more thing, during all this also, Ikaku and Yamachiki. I don't remember his name properly. Sorry. Yamachiki, right? Yamachiki. They are in one of the districts of Soul Society in a way, and Ruikon district, and basically people are disappearing again, I guess, in a way, just like it happened during Turn Back the Pendulum arc. I guess it's kind of similar, okay? And they are trying to figure it out. I haven't figured it out yet, and I don't think they will get a lot of chances to figure it out, because basically by the end of this episode, kind of war starts, kind of. Also, one thing I literally forgot, the first scene of the anime is basically all the hollows which we got to see in trailer are disappearing from Waco Mundo, and a lot of hollows disappeared, and we finally got to see adult Akon, right? And I've heard a lot of people talk about Akon. We saw him in Turn Back the Pendulum. He was a little kid, and now we finally get to see him, and I'm kind of excited. People are like really like they kind of hyped him up for me. I don't know what role he plays in this arc. I really don't, but okay. And the first familiar character in a way. Like Akon is a familiar character, but not really familiar character that we get to see in this since the Bleach returns is Mayuri Kurotsuchi. Okay, so he's basically he knows Quincy's are behind this because it's Mayuri and he's smart, he's perfect. Okay, and after that Yamamoto scenes happen, and Ichigo is and basically during that Yamamoto scene, his lieutenant, whose name I don't remember because he literally didn't do anything important throughout the stories, and now he's basically probably definitely going to die by the end of the next episode probably, or they even may not even show him dying because he's not that important at all. Basically on his basically gets arrow shotted in a way and is on his deathbed and basically warns Yamamoto in a way that these people can make our Bankai go disappear. One question, does that mean this lieutenant has Bankai? Because for him to know that, he needs to have a Bankai because he was going for a Bankai during that fight because he clearly needs, there were so many people, all of them Quincy's and strong, I guess. He's lieutenant of Yamamoto, he still needed Bankai, and it makes sense that the lieutenant of the head captain has Bankai compared to other lieutenants. Some of them have, but generally they don't. And he goes into Bankai and disappears. I want to know what his Bankai was actually. Shit, I wanted to know. Probably will never get to see it now. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I don't care a little bit, but whatever. And then basically, during this conversation of the lieutenant, whose name I don't remember because he is not important, was never important, and will never be important, I guess. We get to see Ichigo fighting that Quincy, Aranka type Quincy, and bro, Aranka type Quincy, it's not Ichigo's fault. You literally have a kind of a mask. Are you a hybrid or it's just a fashion choice? And if it's just a fashion, first of all, if you're a hybrid, you don't take offense to that. And if it's just a fashion choice, then try to understand it. Your fashion choice is okay. Basically, during that conversation of Lieutenant and Yamamoto, we get to see like the Quincy, whose name I don't remember. I will try to remember slowly. Okay, people, stay with me. And also staying with me, like, share, subscribe, please. I will do these reviews more, obviously, even if people don't watch it. Ichigo and that when the conversation between Lieutenant and Yamamoto is going on, and we get to see that Quincy and Ichigo fighting, and Ichigo goes into his Bankai, and basically that Quincy, that shot of him getting happy, having an orgasm, I really don't know what it was, really happy, really orgasmic, I don't know. He basically takes out a gadget because Quincy's are all about gadgets, and basically not steal his Bankai, basically makes this gadget is supposed to make the Bankai of some opponent disappear, which is a pretty good ability, but for some reason it's not able to. Is it because it can disappear Bankais of lieutenant level, their Ryatsu is low, and Ichigo is definitely captain level, or maybe even beyond a little bit. So I don't know, I think it's not that, it's something like Ichigo is special for some reason, which I think we will get to know why it didn't work on him. I don't think it's the reason is because Ichigo is so damn strong, people can't make his Bankai disappear. And Ichigo basically goes, Getsuga, and for a second I thought like that would do the trick, and I thought that this character, this Quincy, is just going to be a no name, and in a way just an example of what's going to happen, a character that introduced just for the audience to know the threat and stakes, I guess. And he will just die over here. He didn't die, he got badly injured, and he did decide to. This is where Ichigo during this whole fight realized that he is sort of a Quincy, sort of, okay, because he's still kind of confused for some reason. And then this Quincy and those other Quincies who were in Soul Society go to a place which looks like a place of Wakemundo, a castle. It looks like Wakemundo, I think. Okay, and there, that Ichigo the Quincy fighting Ichigo was bowing down to someone, and I knew who he was bowing down to. And then other Quincies came in. One of them was a little too smart ass, I guess. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Still here. Okay. One of them was a little bit of a smart ass, I guess, and he was just like he just basically got his arm chopped off within an instant, and it was probably one of my favorite scenes of this episode. Like, why? Because then Yua's voice, the leader of Quincy's, I guess, his voice sounds really old and really mature, like old, strong grandpa. I'm not kidding. This is what he actually sounds in the sub version, at least. I really want to watch the dub version. It's not out yet, and I didn't want it to wait because I want to make the video. But way more importantly, I don't want to get spoiled, which I have been already a little bit because of internet. So that's basically all happens. He basically chops him off, and his arms, his veins, blood, everything on the floor. Kind of gruesome and cool scene. And did I mention when Yamamoto and when the Quincy's and Yamamoto, the confrontation, whatever is another word I can't pronounce, I guess, or whatever, is happening. The Soul Reaper that came in initially to talk to Yamamoto, he was beheaded and there was blood on the floor. Another good scene. Okay, I love death, I guess, and blood, not just normal death, bloody death, I guess. And basically chops the arm of one of the guys, and he dies, which is kind of weird. Like, I thought you might not die from one chopped arm, and he basically dies, and he's like, "Don't fight." I told how many times I've told you, don't fight in my presence. Definitely gives vibes of old, strong, really strong grandpa. Like the voice, honestly. Really want to see what the voice would be in the dub, actually. And that's pretty much it. So, what are you waiting for? Go, you don't like, you don't comment, you don't share, you don't subscribe. If you want to do that, please do that. And I will see you for the next review and other videos. Bye. By the way, I forgot to mention this in the video. The manga, I just read the 4 chapters briefly, and the reason I read it briefly was because, unlike, it's kind of weird, the art style, the design, the art was not good. Actually, not that good. Something happened to Kubo when he was writing. Even the moment he started writing, drawing this arc in the manga, did something actually happen? His health got worse. Something happened. I generally don't know, because the art, the drawings are actually significantly worse. I'm not kidding. I really love Bleach art style, but they are significantly worse. I'm not kidding. And also in the manga, there are scenes of those cowardly and brave Soul Reapers in Soul Society before coming to Karakura Town. So if you are interested, you can check those scenes. It was not those scenes were not shown in the anime. To some extent, there are just few scenes, not many. But if you are interested, you can check out those scenes from the manga, basically.